Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Online Racing League with me, George Morgan, and I'm joined by Maku once again. It is the grand finale. We are here at Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Interlagos. I got to say, the sun will be shining, hopefully. We won't get any rain. Me and Maku were just discussing that before the race.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a finale, though, than maybe sunny Brazil.
A beautiful little track. We have this really big straight, which has a few bends, but is basically a straight. And then we have this trickier, cornery middle sector where you really need to break down all the way and have to travel a lot of the way at really low speeds. So, yeah, a well-mixed map, a well-mixed circuit, and, well, at the moment it looks pretty dry. Well, we don't know. Maybe there's potential for rain.
Well, don't tempt fate, Maku. I got to say, I'm really quite enjoying these warm weather conditions that we have here in Brazil at the moment. The blue sky is out and about, albeit patchy cloud above us as we see the first lot of drivers just voiding the pit entrance now. Just riding on board, and you see their Boomson leaving the paddock. And there's a string of cars, in fact, making their way down towards that main straight. That being, of course, the Rita Raposta. And this is actually a DRS section, so you're going to see many overtakes on this section. And no doubt, I'm sure, lots of overtakes will be happening in this race today. We've got some very fast drivers on track here. And one returnee we have is Sven Zerner back in the McLaren hot seat. So McLaren fielding a very, very good couple of drivers. Obviously, Simon Vigang and Sven Zerner, much for a partnership here. And I'm sure we'll be lucky to see him back on the top step. Simon Vigang obviously coming off a victory last week. And I'm sure that'll really give him the confidence this week, Maku, to get himself back onto the top step yet again.
Yeah, for sure it does. And yeah, R7 told us he hadn't touched the game really in a month, so he's really doing a big comeback. And then directly in ORL, with this competition that you have with Infamous and all the other drivers we have, Alvaro Carreton, who are really quick, and then we need to mention the battle for second place still.
We do. The battle for second place is still very much in the hot possession at the moment. Infamous currently holding that P2 for Renault right now. 96 points to his name, with Simon Vigang just traipsing behind him in close quarters. 95 points, a mere fly's hairline separating these two right now. And we're on the final race. It's all going to be decided here tonight, Maku. And I got to say, nothing gets more exciting than a last-minute goal. We see that in football. We love it in F1 as well. Alvaro Carreton now making his way around the final Jun Chao left-hand bend, heading up towards the main straight now, just after the Arquibancadas on the right hand side. You can just see past turn 15 coming up right now. The trees of the paddock, the people, everyone on the right hand side. Alvaro Carreton nails a 107.606. What a nice way to start there, Maku.
What a nice starting time, but the two McLaren drivers are always up for a surprise. So yeah, there it is, Sam Weiging posting a 107.5. A little bit quicker than Alvaro Carreton, but for sure there will be a battle for the pole position. And now the first other times are dropping in, a lot of 108. For sure those guys are trying to get another quicker time.
It's a mouth-watering prospect here, Maku. Already we're seeing the times being floated in right now. Infamous now moving into P2 with a 107.574. Just look at the gap in between Ps 1 and 3 right now. All within just within a tenth. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We're going to be seeing this right through this race. Let's not forget Hayes, who's just in close quarters as well. P4 currently at the Red Bull, but looking very potent indeed. Bernardo Perez now making his way around the next right-hander. Bernardo Perez hasn't had the easiest of seasons, but he's shown signs of improvement. And I got to say, I think there's more to come from the Williams driver. He's just coming past the Jun Chao left-hander now. As you can see, yet another left ahead of him. A little slip there on the exit. Probably not going to help him at this stage. You see the stands on the right-hand side littered with all people here coming to watch the Grand Prix racing as he comes across the line. It's going to be P9 for Bernardo Perez initially, 108.201, sorry. But yes, more to come, I'm sure. Andinator coming off what was a very respectable run last week, now driving for Haas today. He's currently in P10. But let's not forget Onyx. Who could forget Onyx from last time? 108.040. He was superb for Renault last week, Maku.
Yeah, we had a lot of superb drivers who kind of showed up from nothing and were just there. For example, we have with Onyx, as you said, but we have also which Mr. Anka, the two Mercedes drivers. Yeah, Onyx is the first one, and Mr. Anka the second one. Because we have no one from the real Mercedes team here. Because Jarno is just getting his trophy without participating in the last race. And yeah, but I think with Onyx and Mr. Anka, we have a good replacement and someone who can battle at the front too. I mean, Onyx is nearly in the 107, so for sure he will be involved in the battle for podium.
Well, another man that's in the 107's Maku is our old friend Sven Zerner, back after a month's exit. He's notched himself up to P5, a 107.776, well within the 107's mark. He's not as bad as you think, Maku. He's right up there in the top 5.
Yeah, let's see how it looks with the race pace. But I think as we knew him, he was always a little better in the race than in the qualifying, right?
He was, but this is still a very impressive qualifying performance. You know, getting himself
of course.
We've still got a long way to go yet. Currently P5 in qualifying. If we can say he could do better in the race, then he's going to be a real danger to those in the top 10. Obviously, Simon Vigang setting the pace at the moment after an impressive win last week. Once again, top spot, 107.526. He's the marker right now, but he's still not comfortable as Sven Zerner comes in. Simon Vigang on an outlap, looking to go quicker yet again. I just want to also put it out while we're here, folks. I want to put out a message to all the spectators and supporters and the drivers through all season who have supported ORL and myself and Maku right through the season, or for as long as I've been commentating. It's been a real pleasure bringing you the commentary every week, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be doing it, and I hope you're all going to enjoy the Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race of this season. It's been nothing short of phenomenal, the season with its ups and downs. Jarno Opmeer obviously taking the title, very, very big congratulations to him. But Maku, we've had fun this season, haven't we?
Yeah, we had really fun. I mean, it was a short season, but we had, we had nearly everything. We had some great races. We had some drama. Yeah, everything a good season has.
Absolutely. I mean, we had the speed Barry, Jarno Opmeer, almost like a Mika Hakkinen or Jacques Villeneuve and Michael Schumacher moment.
Exactly.
Maybe even a Hamilton Rosberg situation, even though they weren't teammates. But I got to say, it provided some really entertaining action. I've seen some requests for tyres, so I will show the tyres just for you. Obviously, it's just a last race treat for you guys, as soon as I can find out which one it is. There we go. We'll go with those. And yes, indeed, Simon Vigang just making his way around on his next lap now. Can he go quicker? He goes quicker with a 107.310. Another, he's 2 tenths clear of Infamous pretty much. That's a phenomenal lap time once again from Simon Vigang, Maku.
Of course, he took 2 times of his own time, which was already the quickest. So, yeah, I mean, the qualifying is still going on for 10 minutes. So, for sure, the times will drop a little bit, of course, because the track gets faster, and Jake just smashed the meter signs into the last real corner.
Well, I hope people know where the braking zones are, or else we could be in for
I hope so.
A real entertaining end to this qualifying session. But we're just seeing Simon Vigang now making his way around the middle sector, and it's great to see Simon Vigang up on the top step now, Maku, because obviously he was faced with a real predicament with the fact that Barry Bromand and Jarno Opmeer were in front, pretty much battling each other for the P1s nearly every week. Simon Vigang, obviously in close proximity, used to chase them all the time. He was in P3 and he'd always battle, but never could quite get the top step. But it's good to see him coming out and about now, starting to win some of these Grand Prix.
Yeah, and I think before the last Grand Prix, he was even leading before Infamous, so he was basically in second place. And yeah, now Infamous got 1 point more. Literally, it's just 1 point separating them in the championship. So it's basically in the top place. It's just one place, which makes a difference for winning the championship for both of them.
It is. It's so close, guys. Absolutely close. You cannot separate the two drivers right now as we now see some movement up in the top half. And VSR, I'm not quite sure which one that is, but in P4, a Ferrari has just managed to find its way into the top 5, which is probably a performance best, considering you can see now Photon in P6 as well. So both Ferraris in P4 and 6 currently in the classifications, having a very good outing. Can we see some Ferrari magic here at the tail end of this season? They've had a really, really difficult one this season. Currently P10 in the team's championship, the Constructors' Championship, currently behind Haas F1 team, who are on 30 points, Ferrari on 28 points. They really need a good finale here today, Maku.
Yeah, they really, really need a good finale. They had Fodon, who won last season, had a lot of struggle. He was fighting nearly all the time in the midfield. I think it was mixed. Sometimes he was further up the places, sometimes he was further down. But yeah, he couldn't hold his pace from last season, or maybe his pace, but I mean, we've got a lot of new really, really quick drivers this season. So yeah, and Stiv, who is the other actual Ferrari driver, yeah, well, he performed, he didn't really perform well either. So yeah, let's take a look. I think it's Corny.
Yeah, I think it's VSR Corny. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, absolutely. Well, P5 is a very, very good position for him to be in.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Foden's in 8th.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them in the top 10. So currently in points position. Sven Zerner going quicker again, though, Maku. P3 for Sven Zerner on his return. Back into racing, a month off, and he's come into really good form. He's now in the top 3 now. McLaren on Ps 1 and 3. They will have the most successful constructors outing in this Brazilian Grand Prix in qualifying, should they finish like this. Obviously, VSR in Famous separating the two of them right now. Currently, the jam in between a McLaren donut at this moment in time, as we now see further down, VSR Corny once again out on an outlap, looking to improve yet again. And CRG Hardbass as well out and about. Obviously, that being Arsen Kardanov, who's now making his way on to the straight. And it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on today. After, obviously, he had a little coming together with Jarno Opmeer at Canada, Maku, which obviously did not, which was the subject of a little bit of controversy.
Yeah, true. It was a little bit afterwards. The race wasn't really that clean, so yeah, was more. Not only that was controversial. So yeah, but it was still counted. It was a lot of. I think they even did a vote if they redo the race. Oh, and Bernardo Perez got disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Did he spun or something?
I've just seen him at the end of the pit lane, I believe it was. You can just see him leaving now, and he is in fact disqualified. So a very, very bad result there for Bernardo Perez. That pit exit is so treacherous. You've got to really take great care moving out of the pit lane, because of course if you get yourself tangled, you can leave yourself in a very, very discomforting situation. And obviously Bernardo Perez on the end of that right now, he is disqualified. You can see the damage on the front left-hand side as we're looking at it here, folks. And indeed, swerving there was Simon Vigang, who had to try and avoid that Williams there on the straight of the Rita Raposta there. And naturally, Simon Vigang, he wouldn't want anything to hinder his quali lap, though I think it most likely has, because he did swallow a lot of turf there going down the straight. And that being on a fast lap, he can't be too pleased with it, Maku.
No, for sure isn't. But maybe he got another soft tires, a fourth one, if he went for the softer tire choice. But yeah, let's see. I mean, he will post his last. Maybe he's posting his last time now or in a few minutes. I mean, I think he can do another try. It's a very short circuit, at least from the length of a lap. Oh yeah, he's instantly going to the pits, so he's trying it again.
Yeah, putting on a fresh pair of tyres, I would have thought, if he's lost a lot of grip. Though we will find out whether it's just a case of topping up the fuel. We'll soon see. But VSR and Famous is currently out and about on his fast lap as well, so we're keeping an eye on him. Good chance for us to obviously have a look at the circuit as well while he's out and about, as he makes his way past the Ferradura into turns 7 and 8. You can just see the corners there. You've got to be very careful that you don't get oversteer here, because it's very easy to career off in towards the wall as he makes his way around the Pinorino, past turn 10 now into the sharp turn 11, that being the Bico de Pato there. Again, got to be very careful of oversteer at that place as well. Making his way around the left-hand turn, that being the Magulo, in and around Junchao now, turn 13. He'll then have a little bit of a kink in the circuit there. You can see there, losing a little traction off the curb. He'll now be coming past turn 14, and the Arquibancadas there on the right-hand side. You see the stands littered with people, as I said earlier, as he makes his way up across the line. BSR and Famous going for the numbers here, but no, can't be done, as he makes his way around the center S as the Renault still firmly placed in P4, Maku.
Yeah, but that puts him in a not as good position as we see now. Look at Sven Zerner.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Well,
I cannot believe.
I
Seriously, I think that's phenomenal. He's come back after a month off. Simon Vigan, bear in mind, in top sim racing form. And Sven Zerner notching a 107.252. Phenomenal scenes for the McLaren driver.
But I think that's mostly because, you have the muscle memory and the game is still the same. It's not like, we have a new game. You need to get used to it first. And it's basically the same game. He had a month pass, but of course, Sven raced on that high level, where most of the things are just, muscle memory. You know it. You don't really do it because you want to do it. You just do it.
Absolutely. Well, he's certainly doing it here, Maku. He's currently top of the shop at the moment, 107.252. Now, that's going to be a tough score to beat, especially now that we're in the final couple of minutes of qualifying. CRG Hardbass, that obviously being Arsene Kardanov, slowing down at the moment. VSR Mr. Anker managing to improve immensely, moving into P8, so he's going to be happy with that. Mercedes back in the top 10. Corney's here as well. VSR Onyx. We're just going to keep it on this man because he's going to be making his way across the line, commencing his fast lap now as he makes his way down the main straight, and very soon he'll come up to the center S's now, which you'll have to make sure that you swallow a lot of the inside curve there and indeed get a nice fast exit, and he's done it extremely well. He's now got to try and cruise around this next left-hander on his way down the Rita Raposta now. This is the DRS straight. He'll open up the back flap now, heading down towards the next left-hander, the Decidia de Lago. This left-hander is. He makes his way out now through turn 5. Now that little kinky left-handed bend as he makes his way through towards the Ferradura. Now as he makes his way through this right-hander again, downshifting twice, put the power back on. Simon Vigang letting him go here as he makes his way past turn 7 and 8 to come now. As you can see, Pinarino is the next one, making his way around turn 10. That little kink to the right you got to watch out for. Turn 11 now, the big swooping right that can easily provide oversteer. That's the Bico de Pato after that, heading down towards the Magulo. Now up to Junchao, and now he'll come out of it. You want to go straight on the power now, take this little left-hand bend on towards turn 14, Aquibanwas. Now as well on the right hand side, you can now see turn 15 dead ahead, now towards the main straight. What is Onyx going to do for us today to end it all? It's going to be a 107.636. No improvement there, but he's still in P7. A great showing from VSR Onyx. Mercedes in the top 10, Maku.
Both Mercedes in the top 10, and Corney got himself into 6th spot on another outlap. Going for it again. He'll sure get over the line until the qualifying time is up, and Simon Weigang is on a hot lap, I think. He really wants to get that time to Sven. I mean, kind of understandable, because he was the man who was always setting the pole times, and
well, he must be thinking. I was going to say, because it looked like Onyx might have just shown him a little bit too much corner there, I think. But never mind. Obviously, Simon Vigang's still out and about. Hopefully, that didn't affect it too much as he makes his way around Junchao. You can see the McLaren making his way on the exit now as VSR Jake retires from the session. Don't forget as well, Andonator is still out on a fast lap. He is the B-split champion. Obviously, Jana Watmir being the Split 1 champion, or the Split A champion, should I say. The Split B champion being Andonator, who is now racing in the Split A category. And Simon Vigang unable to better Sven Zerner, and he will be making up a McLaren Ps1 and 2, at least for the time being, as we now see Andonator coming up towards across the line. What are we going to be seeing here from Andonator as he crosses the line? No improvement there. P12, though, a very respectable time. Of course, this is a very, very different field to what he's used to in B-Split, but I got to say, still applying himself very well indeed, and I'm not sure whether he's looking to go again, Maku, but currently P12 for Andonator, not a bad showing.
Yeah, well, he can't go again because the qualifying ended, but yeah, I mean, I think he'll be there next season into the first split, or I hope, because it would be kind of the logical choice to pull him up. I mean, if you get champion in the one split, kind of. Oh, it started to rain at the end of qualifying.
Absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, getting the times in now. Quick, folks, get your umbrellas out because the rain is starting to fall, and this is going to cause complications. But Sven Zerner is your P1 for the start of the Grand Prix, the grid front leader on pole position. He'll be leading the way in the McLaren. Simon Vigan caps off a great day for McLaren, P2. In P3, Alvaro Caraton in famous P4, Hayes P5, Corny in P6, Onyx P7, Anchor in P8, Jan Fieler P9, Hardbass P10, Photon P11, Camel Common P12, Andinator P13, Boomson 14, Calcifer 15, Leonard 16, Jake in 17th, Kruzic 18th, Get Owned 19th, Bernardo Perez after that disqualification at the pit lane, P20, not having the best day as of yet, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more very, very interesting moments happening in this race. Certainly with the downfall of rain now, it's certainly going to be providing us with some late in the day action here at Brazil. But like I said, guys, I want to say a big thank you once again to all the supporters of this league and for joining us week in, week out here on the ORL channel. It's been a pleasure commentating these races for you this season. I hope there'll be more to come next season. That's if they keep me, but I'm sure they'll soon find out. I might yet get fired. Let's soon find out. I'm not sure if we'll have jobs at the end of this, Maku, to be honest.
What you think we will get fired?
Well,
We just just leave and then.
I think our heads are on the block, Maku. I think our P45s are currently being stashed under the table, ready to go.
Please. And then we're like begging on our knees. And... oh no.
I hope everyone in the chat's enjoyed it though. I mean, I enjoy doing this every Thursday night. Obviously, it's good for me to let it all out and sort of just shout at you guys for at least an hour and a half. It makes me feel better anyway. I know I make this common
let
joke.
all the emotions out.
Yeah, all the tears, all the crying, all the all the wars, all the wounded.
I like it how you commentate for the players too. Everyone who hasn't muted, everyone who hears you in the in-game chat.
I know. Well, they deserve it, see.
Yeah, but who said this last time? I think in an interview.
That was.
I think someone really enjoyed it.
Who did I frighten last time? It was. I can't remember who it was, but apparently I frightened him so much he actually crashed the car, which was. I felt slightly guilty, and I'm sorry. I can't remember who it was, but I hope they haven't done it today. So if you're going to listen to me, guys, please watch the stream after the race. Don't go trying to listen to me while you're driving, because trust me, it doesn't work. But yeah, I've got to make some comments out to the guys in the chat. Obviously, thanks ever so much for joining me and Maku. It's been absolutely brilliant, and we'll look forward to calling this last race of this season. It's going to be brilliant, and we'll look forward to it. Also, I'd like to say. I got to say, the corner names at Brazil, apologies if I get them wrong. I'm doing my very best. My Brazilian isn't the best, I got to say. Make that what you will. Obviously, I just seen Felipe Nunez's comment in the chat saying, this corners are great and very easy to pronounce. Genoid21, Gio being the life of the party. I'm not sure about that. Usually I'm the part when the party disperses. But we'll soon find out. I don't know, we have a party, Maku. We like a party now and again.
Yeah, a party's always good.
Yeah, everyone likes a party. I like a party.
Yeah, let's go for a party then.
As long as someone supplies the booze, and I'm happy.
Oh, look at that. It's a migrating host issue.
Oh, really? Last race of the season, can't they give us a... Oh, my word.
Look at that.
Oh, my word. I think it's fair to say we got a black flag here, folks. All the cars have pretty much been crushed at the start of the race.
Yeah.
We're
restarting, so
we're gonna have to have a restart. That's a real shame. So it looks like me and Mako are going to be providing stand-up comedy for the midpoint of this.
Yeah.
So sorry about this, guys.
But yeah, let's see. Someone has to set up session, and then we can rejoin, and then hopefully everything gets set up well.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, I got to say, I haven't seen anything quite like that before. Just seeing obviously all the cars just colliding into each other at the start, only on the formation lap as well. I mean, like you guys might remember the Belgian Grand Prix when they had that real serious downpour. It was in the late 90s, and you can imagine that accident. That is what that was like, and it's not even raining at the moment. And for some reason now, the formation lap's starting.
Look, I don't know what. There was the lights were the lights of the HUD are in the middle of the screen, and I'm seeing the pit lane, and no, it's an error. I like this game. It's really good.
I gotta say, this. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, it must be after they released the last patch or something, because we haven't seen anything quite like this. I mean, I never saw anything like that.
I think it's been out there for like a long time, because I hear always about it. Something like that happens, and I think it had something to do with the migrating host, and I think we had this issue at the end of the session sometimes already, but I never had it really happen during the race, but I heard it, and yeah, kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I just really hope that 2020 is obviously better and doesn't have any of that, because obviously...
Don't we hope that every year?
Well, it provides a lot of headaches, I suppose, certainly when league racing is concerned, because obviously you've got to try and reset everything, and obviously those who are in the top 10 there, they've got a great advantage now, because obviously they'll have fresh tyres. They won't have to use the ones they qualified on, so that changes everything, guys, going into the start of this Grand Prix. Naturally, though, McLaren on pole position at the moment, though, Ps 1 and 2, and that being for Sven Zerner and Simon Vigang, so they're going to be very, very delighted with that, and we'll certainly look forward to bringing you this race when it comes, guys. In the meantime, though, strap yourselves in. Obviously, we've got 30 people in the live chat right now. It's great to have you guys with us, and really enjoying the prospects of this Grand Prix. It's going to be really entertaining, and without question, I'm going to be screaming and shouting. So, hearing aids at the ready, folks. Get them set. It's going to be a busy one. But what are we going to be seeing in the Senna S's? Because that's always a very tricky series of corners, Maku.
I wanted to talk about that too, because it's basically the first corner after the start, and there's always somebody who misses the break point, and then goes wide, but you can't, because there are cars everywhere, and going through this corner side by side is so tricky, because keeping inside the track limits and though being side by side is I think we've seen a lot of stuff going on there with for example with Verstappen and
Esteban Ocon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and who can forget that one? Hey, the obviously Ocon was trying to unlap himself, and he took out Max Verstappen going into the Senna S's. Obviously, was the subject of a lot of controversy and a little bit of fisticuffs in the garage as well, which again, going back to the era of Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve, we used to see a lot of that through that season. Naturally, that's what F1's all about, though. It's a very competitive sport, and I'm sure the esports is no different. We've seen many great battles here at ORL over the past, the number of races we've covered here this season, and I'm sure there'll be very more to come in the future. But obviously, going back to the Senna S's, Maku, if you get it right, though, you can be extremely well rewarded, especially coming into the Rita Poster, because you can come in with a lot of momentum going down that straight and make some really, really great overtakes.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is you got the DRS there, so basically a few kilometers per hour faster, and you can really do this overtake. And the DRS is helping you if you're then close to your opponent in front of you. And I mean, it's actually everything just about the right angle between the first left-hander and the right-hander, so you get both at the right angle, and then you can get the best exit. It's very tricky, and not even the best esport drivers are getting this corner right every time, but of course they try. Let's see.
We certainly will. I mean, obviously, as the case is in many tracks, I mean, Brazil, I suppose, certainly. I mean, if you do take a corner extremely well, you do instantly get rewarded. You do. Just that's the bottom dollar. And I'm sure that we're going to be seeing that today. CRG Simon just saying he did his without... apparently, I think there was some mutterings about a potential slipstream that Sven Zerner had on that pole lap time. But hey, that's what you call strategy. That's how it works.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
actually, McLaren executing it perfectly there. So well done them. I mean, naturally, that's put them on Ps 1 and 2 of the grid. So very, very good points being made here by the McLaren team. And although I think Red Bull might be a little bit too far ahead at this moment in time, obviously I think Ps 1 and 2 have been decided, but McLaren can hold on to that P3 position. Obviously, Williams hunting them down at the moment on 110 points. But the way the grid is situated at the moment, I think McLaren are on good, are in a good place to nail that P3 in the championship, Maku.
Yeah, they really are, especially with that finish. They can, they won't reach Red Bull because they're like over 50 points away. But at least for a stable P3, it's completely possible. So yeah, but in terms of strategy, and slipstream, we've seen everything. There's this strategy at Belgium, at Spa, where you stay in second place until the last lap, then do your overtake onto the camel, and you win the race like that.
Absolutely.
Just because the DRS is so very good there.
It is, absolutely. You do. I mean, that's the beauty of it at the end of the day, and it provides even more action for us to look at, and that much more drama as well, which is what we all live for, and that's what the spectators want as well. Just looking as well in the live chat, some bants going on between the two McLaren drivers. We got CRG Simon obviously saying, without practice but slipstream, lol. Sven Zerner coming back with, yes, that's true, wouldn't have beaten you otherwise, good lap Simon. So at least he's humble in the whole thing, but credit to the McLaren team, because obviously very well executed, like I said before. Well done, guys, nailing that P1 and P2. Though I got to say, very much looking forward to this race. I'm going to ask everyone in the live chat to get involved in this Grand Prix. Let's see if we can really get the party started in the live chat box here tonight. Support me and Maku, and support the guys out on track. It's going to be a phenomenal one. We want to see everyone really getting involved and enjoying this last race here at ORL before the end of the season. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I can see, I think, some of the guys starting to ready up now. We're just literally waiting for the lobby to get started. I mean, obviously, they're trying to sort the grid positions out at this moment in time. And we'll very soon be starting the Grand Prix. Hopefully, it'll be sooner rather than later, because obviously, we just want to see the action getting played out on the circuit. And in the meantime, if you want to follow myself and Maku and the ORL team on Twitter, we have got the Twitter names there on the screen there for you. Team_ORL. That's for the ORL official Twitter account. Let's not forget my Twitter account. Please send me a follow, or if you want an unlike or an unfollow, whatever you want to call it. CRGGO is the place to be. And then you've got at Manuelos there as well. So please, whether you want to follow him, I don't know if you do or not. You hardly ever use your Twitter, do you, Maku?
Yeah, not really much. I'm just there like a few times in a week, so just looking at some things, getting the notifications in, and then I'm like, yeah, all right, that's it. The rest of my time I'm on Instagram, so.
You don't post what you had for breakfast or anything on there, or anything?
No, not really. I'm not at all that guy of posting everything I do in my life, and every little achievement.
Well, I think
I don't know.
I think you should tweet, because of course you got your English exam coming up, your English finals.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
You should post on Twitter how you get on in those English finals.
I don't know tomorrow, but yeah, maybe. If I get everything done, hopefully everything goes.
Everyone in the live chat, wish Maku the best of luck for his English finals tomorrow. Very important, obviously, for education. So send him your support, guys. It's I think you quite rightly deserve it, Maku. I hope you do well. A lot of the guys now starting to enter the lobby now. We're just going to wait and see to make sure that this is successful. And it'd be a shame to go through that whole qualifying situation and then all of a sudden not being able to do the race. That'd be quite embarrassing, wouldn't it?
It really would. And yeah, hopefully all the P1 to P10 are fair enough to start on these soft tires. I hope nobody chooses something different. I mean, they're ordered, and I think if someone does otherwise, they will be disqualified afterwards from R7 or the stewards. But I think everyone is fair, and everyone will choose the tires they had before, at least from P1 to P10.
Absolutely.
And then the session is about to start.
It is. We're on the countdown, folks. We're just waiting to see whether it is successful. I got to say, I'm a bit nervous as to how it's going at the moment, to be honest. Usually it goes straight in, or you see a lot of the guys put their thumbs up down. We'll just show you the screen now as things stand. Naturally, obviously, big question marks as to whether we will be back underway.
Oh,
formation
looks like it's working.
Yeah, no, we're in good shape, guys. We are underway, so we will. And because I'm kind, I'm going to show you the tire details as well, because I'm that nice. And we're just seeing now Sven Zerner make their way down. Sven Zerner and Simon Vigang, shall I say, for McLaren, making their way down out of the centre S. Is down towards the Rita Raposta now. And like I say, please don't judge me on my pronunciations of the corners, because obviously not Brazilian not being my forte, but I just don't, I'm very keen not to offend any passionate Brazilians out there, because they're all passionate about their racing, and I'd be really upset if I upset them. So let's go into it with open minds here, folks, as we now see Sven Zerner making his way around the next right-hander now. And must be feeling very confident. Naturally, had some very difficult moments this season, Maku. He had a puncture, if I remember, earlier on in the season. That was at Bahrain. He'd be looking to, I suppose, rectify his season a little bit. A P1 would go a long way for him here.
Yeah, for sure. He wants to hold this P1. I mean, he's not really fighting for the championship or everything, but I think he's maybe the same motto as Jarno said it. He had, I think. He just wants to win the race. He just wants to win every race, and I think that's always a good mood to start the race. At least if you're in those front spots. I mean, if you're one of the mid runners, and you know you're one of the mid runners, I mean, it's a goal. Oh.
We've just seen Sven Zerner career it into the wall there on the outset of that formation lap. Very interesting indeed. We very rarely see something like that, certainly, and. I don't think obviously, I mean, no damage will be applied in the formation lap, thank God. But of course, it's always a little nervous seeing that happen. I mean, obviously the tyres maybe not as warm as they should be just yet, as we're now watching Sven Zerner go back to his front of the grid, doing the Casper the Friendly Ghost right through all the cars. And for the last time, folks, I will be saying to you, pedal to the metal, go, 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 for this season as the lights are about to go red. Here they go. And it's the first light. Can't see the rest. Fourth light, 5 lights. Pedal to the metal, go, 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 go. Sven Zerner gets away well, very easily, in fact, in behind Simon Vigang, trying to block off Alvaro Caraton, who's trying to make a move on the outside to make their way down the center S's. Alvaro Caraton diving in deep, getting into P2 in behind him, Famous, managing to fight through Hayes as well as they make their way down the reach-room poster. Simon Vigang looking to the inside there of Alvaro Caraton, coming into what will be the Decidia de Lago as they make their way now. Oh, nearly losing it there. Alvaro Caraton hanging on very, very tightly, holds on to P2. What a start, Maku.
Yeah, and it's really close. You see the battle through these Senna S's, and I mean, you always, if you have the better exit out of the second corner, you of course get you of course faster on the straight, so you have the advantage. But we have still battles going on between Foden and Common, I think. No, it's Foden and Jan Fieler, who's settled now a little bit. Oh, there's again another battle between Onyx. Yeah, it's still first lap. We've seen a lot of action, a few switches, and for sure Simon Wigging and Alvaro Caraton will keep battling at the front. I mean, we know Alvaro Caraton, a very fast driver. We had him in the podium spots for like every race since he started in ORL.
Absolutely. Well, just looking down there now, Onyx managing to make the overtake count there on the straight, going past CRG Hardbass, that being Arsene Kardanov there, moving up to P7, and Sven Zerner's under a little bit of pressure now because in comes Alvaro Caraton, only currently 6/10 away, but Simon Vigang also knuckling in deep on that Williams as well as they make their way around the Decidia de Lago, down towards the next semi-straight now, heading into what will be a double right-hander, that being the Ferradura into turns 7 and 8, and you can see them making their way around these bends now, as you can see Alvaro Caraton plugged in to the back of that McLaren, but the McLaren of Simon Vigang tracking him as well, and we've got a lot of tight battles occurring here on the circuit. You can see many separated by under 3/10 right now, but of course this is only lap 2 of 36. It'll obviously be a little bit uncharacteristic of these cars to be separated by any more than that, given that we're in the early stage of this Brazilian Grand Prix as they make their way around the Junchao final bend. Let's get this party started, folks. We're going to be seeing some moves here today as we now see Simon Vigang coming up onto the straight now, in behind him Famous, clocking every move that McLaren makes as he makes his way down now. Amazing how much traction he's getting on the back of that McLaren through the straight, heading into the center S's. We haven't even got, well, the DRS has just been loaded up now, so they will be able to use it going throughout this lap as we now see Simon Vigang on the exit of the center S's, coming down the Reacher poster. But let's not forget Alvaro Caraton plugged into the back of Sven Zerner, still separated by 3/10 of a second, Maku. I gotta say, I think we're gonna be in for a real battle here this evening.
Yeah, it will be a real battle, and the thing is, Alvaro Caraton and Sven Zerner will really mix it up between Simon Wigging and Famous, and because those two are the two battling for the championship, so it's not just for the race win, it's also for the championship. because whoever gets out first here in the race, whoever gets the spot before the other one, will win the championship. Yeah, let's see how Alvaro Carretón is going to affect that, because of course, if Simon starts to battle with Alvaro, maybe Infamous can get close and maybe can make his overtake.
Could well do. I mean, every single move counts in this race. I don't mean for the driver who makes it. I mean for the other drivers around him as well. We've obviously got a lot of action going on behind the scenes in the back part of the track, as we now see Infamous having a little look there on the inside of Simon Vigang. Simon Vigang getting very close to Alvaro Carretón there. Very nearly maybe bashing a nose there on the front there. But the Williams able to get away unscathed, and so's the McLaren as they make their way down the stretch down the DRS opening. You can see there Infamous plugged into the back of that McLaren, swerving all around the back end of that Dell Technologies rear wing, as you can now see ahead of him. Alvaro Carretón now ahead of Simon Vigang, just over 2/10 separating those two, as Jan Fila makes a move on Photon there and gets it done. The racing point up to P9, currently 2 seconds off his CRG counterpart, that being Arsene Kardonov, who's currently in P8 in the Alfa Romeo, that being CRG Hardbass, don't forget, folks. That is Arsene Kardonov. Looking further up, Onyx, currently 6/10 behind VSR Cordy. And further on, we've obviously got Hayes as well, who's only 2/10 behind Infamous. So we've got very, very slim gaps in between what is the top 8. And Jan Fila closing that gap on Arsene Kardonov as well, Maku.
Yeah, and in between with CRG Common spinning out onto the straight, I actually don't want to pronounce the name of that part of the track, because I have actually no clue how.
Is it the Archibancadas?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure whether that's right, folks. Just, I'm not preaching you on that.
Yeah, me neither. So.
Well, we're just seeing now Alvaro Carretón making his way down the Rita Poster, getting closer and closer behind Sven Zerner. Now, this is what we've come to expect from these drivers here. Obviously, Simon Vigang being one of them as well. Infamous as well. Let's not forget many others on this track. Very capable of winning Grand Prix races. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing some very interesting action here as Sven Zerner comes around that right-angled bend. I got to say, Alvaro Carretón maybe getting the better entrance onto that bend. He closed the gap massively on the back end of Sven Zerner. Currently 3/10, just over 3/10. And maybe the McLaren car's able to brake that little bit later, Maku. Maybe the brake bias is a little bit more in their favour going around these corners.
Yeah, it looks like it, because Infamous goes really through corners 6 and 7 through Ferradura. It looked really like he could close in there, because he braked a little bit less or a little bit later. So yeah, that's basically what makes the difference here. We have these 2 DRS zones, but they're not that useful. I mean, of course, DRS is useful, but not in the DRS train as you see it now. You can't really overtake.
Hold the phone, Maku, because here comes Alvaro Carretón on the outside of Sven Zerner, diving on the outside. The Williams looking to pounce on the outside. It's still wheel to wheel, coming round the City of Delago, down the straight now, heading into the double right-hander. The Williams diving all over the back end of Sven Zerner. Can he defend it? As he makes his way round, he does. Phenomenal defending from Sven Zerner, holding on to P1. What a battle between that of Alvaro Carretón and Sven Zerner, but we lose. CRG, come on, Maku.
Safety car, yeah. Oh, you dashed out again around these corners. This time it's corner 13, but though, I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, well, Photon has also received a punishment for driving under the speeding under the safety car, should I say? So that's going to affect his time as well. But we're now seeing Alvaro Carretón round in Junchao now after that real prosaic battle with Sven Zerner going through the middle sector of that race. Well, the first sector going into the middle sector, should I say? And immediately we see Sven Zerner diving into the pit lane, and I think Alvaro Carretón was thinking about it, because he got very close to that pit wall and could have very nearly ended his race as well. He got away with that. He was very lucky, in fact, as we now see Sven Zerner opting for the medium compounded tyres here at lap 6. So maybe knows something that the others don't, because obviously he's pitted, but no one in the top end really pitted either, bar up VSR and Famous. So have those two come up with a real killer strategy here this early in the race? Lap 7 of 36, bear in mind, folks, long way to go. But Sven Zerner pitting onto the mediums in lap 6. We're now in lap 7 of 36. And certainly the doors are wide open here, folks. Don't call it now, because we're going to be in for yet more action, without a shadow of a doubt. As we now see, obviously, the safety car being caused by that incident involving CRG Common. He is now out of the race, folks. He is, in fact, out. So that means that Toro Rosso are down to one driver, that being Boomson, who's currently in P5. Now, Boomson, a very formidable driver on his day as well. I've seen him competing in many other leagues, such as AOR. Very strong driver. A winner in PC Tier 2 as well, which I had the pleasure of commentating on at Germany at Hockenheimring. And certainly no slouch. Currently parked himself ahead of Get Owned, the Red Bull driver, obviously Toro Rosso's parent, the parent team, for example. And I've got to say, Boomson, a very, very strong prospect, and certainly has been improving. So let's see how he gets on today. Onyx as well in P4, looking for yet another great day as well. He's currently 6/10 in behind Hayes as things stand. So the Mercedes Silver Arrows looking for yet another good result here today. And it looks like we're going to have the safety car at least for another lap, Maku.
At least I made a little bit of experience that our dearest Bernd in the safety car wants to always do a few more laps.
So could we see yet another lap or two? Well, probably another lap.
Maybe, yeah. That's what what normally the case is. But hopefully, I mean, yeah. Let's see. Could be that he's in this lap, but I think he will go for another one. So yeah, it's a very short circuit. We'll sure see. Normally the game says gives us the message about now if the safety car comes about after half of the track.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing what happens. Obviously, still quite a lot of this race remaining, folks. We're only in lap 8 of 36. Lots of drama still yet to be had here, and certainly that is showing on track. We've obviously had one incident, one DNF in this race, not forgetting the immediate pit stop of Sven Zurner in lap 6 as well. How can that shake up the classifications? Obviously those soft tyres are going to be feeling a little bit sick very soon. Obviously the rapid and tight circuit that is Brazil, the corners are very winding, and certainly if you're driving soft tyres at pace, the safety car is in this lap, Maku, so we're not going to be having one more lap. So they're going to have
pretty late call.
Yeah, they're going to. It is, yeah. I mean, they're very nearly up towards the pit lane. Usually they make it quite earlier than that, but there we go. They've made the decision, and we're back underway. Alvaro Carreton is now going to be judging when the restart happens. Simon Vigan getting very close there, looking to obviously pounce on Alvaro Carreton as soon as the restart happens. And obviously you can see them bunching up at the back. Photon going ahead of Jan Fiedler.
Look at Onyx.
Who we had there? Onyx with a bursting run. Luke moving in on the inside. He does in fact take Boomson there as he made their way through the centre S's, though that Hayes managed to fight him off. And like you say, Maku, I didn't see it till late on, unlike you did, but Onyx managing to pounce on Boomson, capitalising on the restart. P4 for the Mercedes. A great little move there, Maku, to move his way up. Took advantage extremely well there.
Yeah, he really did, and he was really fast in the restart. And for sure we'll be looking for a few places up. As we mentioned at the beginning, I think it's just the second race into ORL here. But yeah, maybe his potential, and he's a quick driver as we see, so let's see what he can do. I mean, he's one of the soft runners still, but Simon Vigan and Alvaro Carreton, those two were up on the podium spots after the qualifying, so yeah, let's see what is the better strategy. And I mean, the mediums won't last until the end, I think. I mean, over 30 laps, just some mediums, I think you can't do that on no track where you can do that.
Well, here comes Sven Zurner on the outside of Get Home. The Red Bull now under pressure, because here comes the McLaren on the outside into the centre S's. Can he get the move done? Indeed he can. Can he get the advantage? Yes, on the outset. He has taken it. The radar poster beckons now for Sven Zurner. He's got Boomson ahead of him in the Toro Rosso as he makes his way down the track now. You can see the DRS now opening on the back end of that McLaren as they make their... Oh, sorry, no, it hasn't been opened yet. They have not activated DRS just yet, folks. They make their way around the Decidia de Lago, down the little straight now, heading into what will be the Ferradura into turn 7 and 8. You can see them, the McLaren there, getting closer and closer to the back of Boomson there. The Toro Rosso really pushing. I got to say, Sven Zurner may have just executed the strategy of the race so far. Those mediums making a hell of a difference to his race right now. Naturally, fresh tread on those tyres, obviously helping him big time around this very difficult Brazilian circuit, Maku.
Yeah, I mean, he has just Boomson in front of him, who is one of the old medium tyre runners, so someone who has the mediums since the beginning of the race. So that shouldn't be as hard either to overtake. But then we've got the DRS back, so he's going for it into the center S's already, and yeah, well, he already got it done. So Sven already up into P5.
Phenomenal
now
move.
Chasing this. Yeah, I mean he had it done even before the corner.
Yeah.
So what else to say?
That's just the difference in tyre tread, certainly, and certainly the factor of DRS being reapplied helps as well. And he's now in P5, only 2 seconds behind Onyx now, and has a great opportunity here because obviously the cars ahead of him all on 10-lap-old softs, so they're going to obviously be very restricted in this early stage of this Grand Prix. Naturally, Svensson has still got lots of time on those tyres, and it'll also give him an opportunity to be clear away from the hard tyre cars as well, because naturally you've got a gap to P9 where you've got Hardbass on hards, Jan Fieler, Andinator, Bernardo Perez, Leonard, also got Kalsifer, Kruzic, all donning the hard tyres. So this gives Sven Zerner a great chance here to really push on and split himself away from that pack, try and attack the top runners that are on the worn softs, and we could very soon be seeing yet more battling heads. We now ride on board with Simon Vigang on the outset of the centre S's. Very soon he'll be tackling the Rita and Poster now as they make their way on the outset now. You can see the Williams really trying to tug away from the McLaren. The two great British constructors bombing their way down the straight. Not able to get there though, Simon Vigang. Not quick enough to make that crucial overtake going into the Decidia de Lago, and they come out of it now, heading up towards the Ferradura, that being turn 6. You can just see them braking just on the 50-metre board, and indeed as they do so, getting back on the power, heading into what will be turn 7 and 8, and into the Pirino now as well. But Simon Vigang looking to run his race yet again, but Alvaro Caraton, Maku, we've seen him week in, week out, a very formidable opponent.
Yeah, of course, and since he was there, as I said, he was up in the top spots. He was fighting with Jarno, with everybody up there, and yeah, I mean that's actually exactly what we expect, to fight him for the win, not only for podium places, but for the win. And well, maybe the win is maybe the win is just been given to Sven because of strategy. Because I think on this mediums he's pretty strong. He will have like 15 seconds of a gap as soon as the soft runners pit. So yeah, I think I would bet on Sven at the moment for the race win, if nothing really, if no incident happens.
Yeah, well, it looks like, I mean, Simon Vigang, I think, had every opportunity to make a move on Alvaro Caraton there, but I think, to be honest with you, I think he's quite happy to stick behind the Williams driver, I think, for the time being. I think he's going to try and follow his pit stop strategy, maybe look to come in the same time and try and chase down his opponent. Whether that is the case, I'm not sure. Obviously, him and Sven Zerner are on very different strategies right now because Sven pitted earlier, and this gives McLaren a chance to at least have one car finish on the top step, I would have thought, because obviously Alvaro Caraton be under pressure from Simon Vigang, both of them on similar strategies, no doubt. And let's not forget that Sven Zerner already pitted for his mediums. He is in a very good position because he can now just drive his car through, not worry about what's ahead of him. He's only 2.7 seconds behind Onyx, who is now really tight to the back end of Hayes. And we could yet be seeing more fireworks. They make their way through the centre S's. We now see Simon Vigang only just over 2/10s, now 3/10 should I say, behind Alvaro Caraton. Will he get a move done here on the Rita Poster straight as they make their way down? Remember, 13 laps on these soft tyres already as they make their way down the Rita Poster into the Decidia de Lago. On the outset now, you can see the Williams just powering out, but the McLaren is not letting him escape, Maku.
No, he isn't. But those two are giving each other a really close battle. I mean, and Simon is giving it everything with the DRS, I think, because he has two options. Either he chooses to save a little bit of the energy and save a little bit of the tires, to maybe have that extra grip onto another lap as soon as Alvaro pits. But because he has DRS, he can of course keep close to him. But the other thing could be, of course, that he tries to fully attack and really tries to get that first place now, so he doesn't have to fight later or in the pits.
Well, they're making their way up to the centre S's again. This is lap 15 of 36. We're now seeing the McLaren of Simon Vigan getting tighter and tighter to the back end of Alvaro Carreton. Just seeing Sven Zerner as well. That gap between him and Onyx not getting shorter. It is now up to 3.1 seconds. Whether he's having issues, I am not sure. But obviously he's going to want to try and reduce that gap, especially seeing as the Onyx and the above are all on 14-lap-old softs. It's bamboozling Maku to see that these soft tyres are lasting for as long as they are. Or maybe it's just the case that the track is that short, you can get that much more out of them.
Yeah, that's for sure another thing. But yeah, I mean, I think you can drive the soft tire for a long time. But of course they want to the best mix out of having the soft tires at a good state, but also having the mediums at the end of the race at a state that they have enough grip to still have a little bit of a battle. So they maybe try to push those softs now a little bit further and to have that spare grip at the end of the race.
Absolutely. Well, already now we see Simon Vigan moving into the pit lane. Naturally, Sven Zerner, his teammate's going to be bombing past him now. So as things stand, Alvaro Carreton still leading this Brazilian Grand Prix. Onyx in P2, Sven Zerner in P3. Now only 3.5 seconds behind Onyx now. He really starts to... well, I suppose he doesn't really need to push. All he's thinking about is keeping the car on the track. He will obviously win or move up a place based on strategy. So the race is pretty much in his corner. My guess is that he'll start pushing when Alvaro Carreton and Onyx start pitting. So that's when we'll have to see the difference in pace strategy with Sven Zerner throughout this Grand Prix. Remember, only in lap 16 of 36. So we've still got another 20 laps remaining here, folks. A long way to go. Get Owned currently getting very close to Boomsun, and Boomsun very close to Corny. So we've got quite a group of cars here in Ps 4, 5, and 6. Not forgetting, sorry, P3, that being Sven Zerner, who's holding up that pack or that train of cars. And further back then, of course, you've got Hardbass, Jan Fiedler as well behind them, and Bernardo Perez, who's not far away either, as they make their way up towards Junchao and round towards the final few bends before the straight. Are we going to be seeing yet more overtakes here on this lap 16 of 36, or will we be seeing them yet again cross the line to start lap 17? We'll soon find out. Indeed, Alvaro Carreton has pitted, so now Sven Zerner leads this Grand Prix on strategies, Maku, and at least for the time being. But how is this going to roll out? Who do you think is going to make the difference?
Yeah, actually, as I said, Sven Zerner really has a chance to win this thing. And I mean, he also has now one stop. So basically everyone who went already for a stop is basically on the same state as him. And it's just Boomsunk and Gadout who are missing a stop. So basically those two are really dropping back the order. Most of the other guys, the guys on hards now have already done a stop, and most of the other two. So I really think Sven can take this home, but I think he will need to do one other stop. And I'm not sure if he can really make up the time. But maybe he's also able to keep the tires that long on track, because as you said, Brazil is a really short track, so it's just possible that the tires last way longer than you think they do.
Well, I can't get over how congested we are in the midfield, because I'm looking at currently on board with Jan Fiedler, who is now only just over 6 tenths away from Hardbass. Don't forget as well, Get Owned is only 7 tenths away from Boomsun, and he's only 8 tenths away from Corny in the Ferrari. So we got a real battle here going through the start of this Grand Prix, or should I say the midpoint of this Grand Prix. We're now at the halfway stage, lap 18 of 36, so still another 18 laps remaining here, folks. Sven Zerner leading the way by 1.3 seconds now, and he really needs to start pushing, because obviously Corny still very much in the race here, and the Ferrari driver doing extremely well on his 11-lap-old mediums as well. He's got very similar length of tyres on right now, and you've got to wonder whether strategy's played a vital role in this Brazilian Grand Prix, as it does in most races. But all the more importantly, this race in particular, that safety car may have added a few twists to the end result of this race. As we now look further back, we've still got Hardbass pressing all over the back end of the Red Bull of Get Owned at the moment. That battle is for 4th place. In behind, Jan Fiedler, only 4 tenths behind CRG Hardbass right now, and they're going to be making their way round Junchao onto the main straight, as we can now see Jan Fiedler half a second behind Hardbass now. Basically a DRS train happening here in the top 10 as things stand, as they make their way over the line to commence lap 19 of 36, making their way down towards the center S's. And we've just seen a comment in the live chat, Milky Cereal, Calcifer P10. When did he learn how to drive?
Oh, that'll get a. These two are really getting into each other after the race.
Well, I think Milky Cereal's in the doghouse now by the sounds of it. It's going to be... It's going to be thrown out cereal the way things are going.
oh no. Hell no.
No, I'm only joking. But yeah, this race is really hotting up, folks. 4 tenths currently separating pretty much Ps5 and 6. Lots of battling happening out on track. Well, I say lots of battling, but a serious DRS train. And very soon, I'm sure, no doubt, we'll see some overtakes. They're now making their way around the midpoint here in Sector 3. Or Sector 2 into Sector 3, should I say. Making their way around the next swooping left-hander. And you can pretty much go... probably 3/4, maybe 80% pace up towards the Junchao bend, which you can now see Jan Fieler taking now on the outset. You can see Ghetto now under a lot of pressure from CRG Hardbass. Remember, that's Arsene Kardanov now moving up on the Red Bull of Ghetto. Has he got the slipstream here as he moves closer and closer to the Red Bull? Arsene Kardanov doing it for all those CRG boys out there, making his way down towards the center S's. Can he get the move done as Ghetto tries to get on the defensive? But no, I don't think he can. He shuts the door, does Ghetto, and indeed keeps that Red Bull in P4, at least for the time being. But Arsene Kardanov is not finished just yet. He's battling back the Alfa Romeo on the inside, going through to Cinia Delago. Can he hold the car in? Can he hold it as he makes his way past Ghetto? Dives in on the inside. Jan Fieler also using the slipstream, comes end to end with Ghetto, going around the next right-hander, and indeed Jan Fieler gets the job done. It's a movement up one place each for Hardbass and Jan Fieler, while Hardbass moves up twice. Ghetto back to P6. Phenomenal driving, Maku.
A beautiful double overtake. I think just because Ghetto was there onto the grass, he had this little bit missing, missing grip, and there was a great opportunity which Hardbass and Jan Fieler took to move up into P4 and 5, and yeah, well, they even maybe have a chance on the podium. I mean, they're both on the they actually really do have, because now they're already onto the first podium spot, and no, Corny doesn't need to pit anymore, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. What do you think actually about those medium runners right now? Those onto those 14 lap out mediums, because I'm not sure if they have to pit another time.
I think they will have to pit one more time, and probably for softs, Maku. I'm looking at it right now. As you can now see Jan Fieler moving past Hardbass there, and moving up to P3 in the race. Maybe Arsene Kardanov just getting it slightly wrong there, I think, at that bend, and this has allowed Jan Fieler through. A phenomenal late move there from Jan Fieler. I've got to say, he's having the race of his life right now in the midfield. Has gone up no less than 3 places in the space of a lap and a half. So very phenomenal work there from Jan Fieler. I got to say, that double overtake, I think, was the move of the race. You got to give credit to both Hardbass and Jan Fieler for their courage making that move going around that bend, especially Jan Fieler, because he had to use the slipstream off Hardbass to make that move happen, and indeed has now overtaken Hardbass and moved up to P3. So great work there from the Racing Point drivers. Bernardo Perez now moves up past Ghetto, who's in the pit lane now. Calcifer's moved up to P7, having a great race yet again after his top 10 result from last week at Canada. A great showing indeed from the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's not forget though, folks, Simon Vigang still in amongst it. He is plugged in, or he's just overtaken Onyx, or I think he's been past Onyx, sorry. He's trying to catch up with our current, technically, net leader, that being Alvaro Carreton, though you can't really say net leader because Sven Zerner's already pitted. But I think you're valid in what you're saying though, Maku. The question is, how long can those medium tyres last? Because obviously Sven Zerner, he's going to be in deep trouble if he pits in the next, should we say, the next 8 laps. He's going to be in real jeopardy. It might be the case he might just have to see how he gets on and try and hold on to these tyres. Maybe that's why he was conserving them early on in the race.
Yeah, that's possible, because if you switch to the leader view, Alvaro Carreton is just 10 seconds behind Sven, and I think that means that if Sven goes to the pits now, he would hand his position over basically to Alvaro Carreton. But the thing is, too, Alvaro Carreton still needs to fight his way up through these hard runners. But Sven has, of course, 2 after he did his pit stop. So maybe some of those guys, especially Jan Fieler, have a chance to for a podium spot. But Simon Wigging is now in P10, And we didn't talk much about that, but Infamous somehow got to P17, which basically means that Simon Wieging just needs to get 9th place in the end to actually win the fight for the 2nd place in the championship.
He does indeed. VSR Infamous out of the points as things stand. So as long as Simon Wieging stays in the top 10, he is P2 this season. So let's see how this plays out. We've still got a battle in the top 10 though. You can see though CRG Hardbass currently pressing all over Jan Filo, who's currently in P3. In behind him, Bernardo Perez has come right back into the race. And obviously as things stands, Maku, going back to who's going to win this race, Sven Zerner may as well carry on because Simon Wieging and those other cars like Alvaro Caraton around him have got to try and get their way past no less than 6 hard tyre cars, or 7 hard tyre cars, should I say. So that's going to be a real complicated issue for them.
Yeah, that's really slowing them down. And I mean, those hard tyres are really slow in comparison to the softs, but also in comparison to the mediums. So yeah, maybe Sven still has a chance. But taking a look at the leader times, I don't know, the game is like not showing me much data because I don't know why. But it looks like Alvaro Caraton is closing in. He had 10 seconds to Sven and now he's down to 9 seconds. So doesn't look that good.
No, well, I got to say, I think the main danger here is Jan Fila as well, because let's not forget, 17 lap all hards. He could probably go to the end of the race right now. And I think he has that on his mind. He's only got 17 lap all hards on. He could probably put yet another 10 laps on those tyres and not be too worried about it.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, the other medium tyre runners don't need to pit either, but, you know, they have these whole hard tyre runners in front of them, as you said.
I mean, all they have to do is make it difficult for them, and the tyre wear on those mediums will soon fall off.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and as we have seen, Jan Pratt currently in the live chat has said that Zerner has got a 3-second time penalty, so that could very well prove to be crucial. Let's not forget VSR Corny in P2 in the Ferrari, on board to sort of try and get Ferrari's best result of the season, really, because they could do with some serious points here. And the way things are stood out, it sounds very odd me saying that, Maku, because obviously given the fact that Ferrari is so prominent in the world of F1, you cannot comprehend the idea that they're at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. But we're just looking now. VSR Cordy in P2, in behind Sven Zerner, and he's within a second of that McLaren. So if he wanted to, he could unleash the DRS, make a move on Sven Zerner's McLaren, and certainly get the job done. So let's see if the Ferrari can actually gain himself a good serious podium here. Jan Fila, though, also a very, very prominent danger. He may be 5 seconds behind Corny, but he's on 18 lap all hards and will probably have better wear on his tyres going through towards the end of this race than what the 2 medium runners at the top end will have.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 medium runners still need to pit or really push their mediums until the edge. I mean, we've seen that. You spoke about oh hell no, about the incident in Bahrain.
Sorry, Maku, we got to move here for P3 as we now see Arsene Kardanov making a move on the inside of the Decidia Delago of Jan Fila as they make their way around. Here comes Bernardo Perez, also eyeing up a move. It's like tandem. We saw this earlier on. Jan Fila did it earlier. Bernardo Perez trying to do the same, but Jan Fila defends the position of P3. Phenomenal driving there from Jan Fila to hold on to P3. But you've got to give credit to Bernardo Perez. He had a little look, thought he could get the run off what Arsene Kardanov was trying to do, but just could not execute it. Very, very quick manoeuvre in there from Jan Fila to defend the position, and he still remains in P3, but for how long though? Because Hardbass currently just over 4 tenths behind, and Bernardo Perez just 2.5 tenths behind Hardbass, Maku.
Yeah, it's really close now, so yeah, let's see. I mean, with Jan Fila up there, with Corny up there, with some people up there we've not seen a lot. I mean, do you actually know what happened to Infamous because he's at the back of the grid? Did he had some incidents or something, or did he need to wait in the pits? Because I can't really explain why he ended up at the end of the grid.
I have no idea, to be honest, Maku. It's really interesting. And he's got 18 lap-old medium tyres on. He makes a move, though, on the inside of 2 cars. Or so be it. Got through Jake. I think Antonetta was in the pits, but he's got past. He's chasing Ghetto now for P15. But we missed as well. Alvaro Caraton is now closing on Jan Fieler. You can now see Hardbass dead ahead of him. So is Jan Fieler. And indeed, we're going to have yet more dramatic moves happening here, because you can now see Alvaro Caraton just over 2 tenths in behind the Alfa Romeo. In behind him, his teammate Bernardo Perez, obviously letting the faster car through on the straight, doing his teammate team orders there and letting Alvaro Caraton through so he can attack the Hardbass, who's just ahead of him, and Jan Fieler, who's just behind him. Alvaro Caraton with a great opportunity here. He's plugged into the back of that Alfa as they make their way around the left-hand bend. You can see the paddock lit up on the left-hand side. The DRS gets open, and indeed he arrives up on the inside. You make a move on Jan Fieler for sure. Will he make a late brake manoeuvre? No, he won't, but he gets P4. Great move from Alvaro Caraton. He'll have an opportunity to make yet another move, going down the Rita Imposta very soon, as soon as he opens up the DRS. And as they do so, he has Jan Fieler locked ahead of him. Can he get the slipstream? He certainly can. Dives in on the outside. What a move there on the inside, but Jan Fieler not giving up by a shadow of a doubt. But indeed, here comes Alvaro Caraton, P3 for the Williams driver, and Jan Fieler under pressure there from Arsene Kardanov. Dives in on the inside, a little touchy-feely going round that right-hand bend. They're going too wide round the next right-hander. They're still together, battling round the next left. Jan Fieler trying to hold firm, but he can't do it. Arsene Kardanov moves up to P4. A double overtake. Jan Fieler having double misery day here today. And indeed, Bernardo Perez having a look at him as well, Maku.
That was a really great battle, and I mean, like, the overtakes through the Cita de Laga are always the greatest things you can see. I mean, they're going too wide there, going together around this wide corner. It's really exciting to see, and Bernardo Perez is taking now a real look at Jan Fieler, and with DRS he's completely overtaking him, I think, before even getting... Oh no! They're going 3.
Oh no, that's carnage. That's absolute devastation. Simon Vigang was having a look on the outside, and Jan Fieler became collateral damage. It was literally a 3-wide battle going into the center S's. And unfortunately, Jan Fieler coming off the bat, and he was having such a great race as well. It's really a great shame to see it go that way. And Arsene Kardanov obviously trying to hold on to his P5 position. His P4 position, sorry, his P, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Simon Vigan was indeed closing the gap, and indeed Arsene Kardanov still in P4 in behind. Bernardo Perez having a look through. Apologies, we missed a lot of that, folks, but we came to it last minute. Jan Fieler dropped down to P16, which is a great shame for the Racing Point driver. Like I said, he's had a great race today, certainly didn't deserve that. But Simon Vigang now in P5. Alvaro Caraton still in P3 and only 5 seconds behind Corney. But the way things are set, Sven Zerner has already increased his gap to Corney by 1.5 seconds. So he's out of the DRS stretch now. And this allows Sven Zerner to really start pulling away. And ideally, he'll need to do that as soon as possible, because Alvaro Caraton is coming into the picture, Maku.
What? Alvaro Caraton is? Yeah. I honestly, Alvaro Caraton is coming into the pits. I was wondering why he should...
No, he's closing the gap. He's coming into the picture. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks like to me Sven Zerner is making these mediums last till the end. He will at least try, because going into the softs now would be complete nonsense.
Well, we were promised drama for the last race of the season. I didn't think we'd get this much. Simon Vigang currently P5, should I say, 2 tenths behind, or just under 3 tenths behind Hardbass at this moment in time, looking to find lots of pace on the Alfa Romeo ahead of him, and he could yet dispatch him on the main straight as they make their way around the next left-hander, that being the Magulo on the way to the Junchao left-handers. You can now see that Alfa of Hardbass just ahead of him, and indeed a little bit of a shaky run out of the corner. He does weave a little bit there, Simon Vigang, but regains the pace and is now looming up onto what is the Alfa Romeo there of Arsene Kardanov, and does indeed just zoom by. Easy does it, he says. Moves up into P4. Simon Vigang coming into the picture, chasing down Alvaro Caraton, but he's got over 2 seconds to try and win back before he can make that crucial overtake, Maku. But let's not forget, Corney's in P2, looking to get that first real crucial result for Ferrari, with Sven Zerner still leading the way.
Alvaro Caraton still has to close down 4 seconds the gap to Corney, and then he has to overtake Corney, and then Sven Zerner is still 2 seconds away. So he has still a lot of work to do if he wants to win this Grand Prix, especially because there are only 5 laps left.
Absolutely, we're literally in the final. It's like the squeaky bum time of this Brazilian Grand Prix. The grand finale certainly has been a grand finale, folks. You haven't been short of action. I hope you're all enjoying it there at home, because we are commentating it here in the commentary box. So we now see Harbas now making his way around the Junchao, and in behind him on board we are with Bernardo Perez right now, currently with 24 lap old hard tyres on. Naturally, they must be feeling a little bit tricky at this moment in time, but I'm sure we'll get a bit more out of it. Here comes Onyx, though. Onyx with a great move. Didn't see him coming, but he's made it happen as they make their way down the straight. A phenomenal move by the Silver Arrows, and once again showing all the promise that he had from last week, and once again makes a diving maneuver on the outside. He had him beat going into the center S's. The Silver Arrows making it, capitalizing on yet a great sweeping move, Maku.
Yeah, a really nice move. You know, we were always seeing those. Races, and I think we mostly don't really appreciate how good those drivers are. And I mean, you know, you just see every race. It's this world-class overtaking. I mean, of course, sometimes there's these little mistakes, as we've seen it with Jan Fieler. But you know, at least he now gets the fastest lap.
He does, yeah. Just seen that posted up there. Obviously on the fresh soft tyres, which you know, he's got to make his name somewhere. But I think he deserves a bit of credit because he has run a great race. For sure.
Yeah, he had a really, really great race, and I think he even maybe had a chance to get further up. I mean, Krangh and Sven Zerner, if they pitted, he had really a chance to win this race. About in his position before, he had really the possibilities to stay on the podium.
He did, absolutely. And I would have, to be honest with you, the podium has been greatly changed, I would say, from what it could have been earlier on. I think obviously Simon Vigang was very keen to try and get the most out of his medium tyres while he still could. And indeed, I think that was why he needed to make that move when he did. Obviously, that double overtake going into the centre S is very tricky. There's no way you can go 3 wide. It's very tricky 2 wide going into the centre S's, but 3 wide is another thing altogether. But as things stand, Krangh having the race of his life, he's still holding on. He's only just over a second in front of Alvaro Carreton, so he's got 3 laps to try and hold on. Can he keep this Williams away from him for that long? The difference in tyre lengths at the moment, you can see even Sven Zerner in the distance, currently separated by 10 laps in between Alvaro Carreton and Krangh right now. Krangh on 26 laps, 16 lap old mediums for Alvaro Carreton, so it is indeed a test of strength going into the end of this Grand Prix. We've got only 2 laps remaining here, folks. Keep it with us. It's going to be a corker because in comes Krangh through the center S's. What's he got? What's it left in the bottle for the Ferrari driver as he makes his way round on the exit, heading round towards the Rita Raposta. And indeed, Alvaro Carreton is now within 6/10 range. So now he's going to be in with a chance for an overtake. This is when Krangh needs to do whatever he can to try and hold on to this P2. It's going to be a great coup for Ferrari to get this job done if he can do it. Simon Vigang, don't forget, he's not out of the question for a podium either because he is currently 2.6 seconds away from Alvaro Carreton. So if Krangh slows him up here, that can really place Alvaro Carreton's podium in jeopardy, Maku.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, you know, Simon Vigang has been fighting his way up from, like, I don't know, he was P12 or something, and now he's really keen on the chance of this podium. So of course Alvaro Carreton is also taking a look at Krangh.
Here we go, he says. He's going to make the exit out of Junchao. Here comes the Williams. Alvaro Carreton diving on the inside. Makes a move on Krangh. Goes into P2. What a sweeping maneuver. Easy does it, he says. Into P2. The Williams makes it now. He's only got a couple of laps left to tackle Sven Zerner. Can he do it? He exits the center S's into what will be the Rita Raposta, the orange McLaren in the distance as he makes his way down towards the city of Delago. The white Williams, the white and light blue Williams, after overtaking Krangh. In comes Simon Vigang, the other McLaren, not out of the question just yet. Under 2 seconds now away from that Ferrari. We're now nearing the end of this Grand Prix, folks. Keep it with us. I want to see your driver of the days in that chat box right now for the last race of this ORL League. in this season, should I say. Not the last one ever, just the last one this season. Please post your driver of the days in the live chat, please, folks. Sven Zerner currently leading the way, 2.2 seconds away from Alvaro Carreton. Can he hold on for one more lap to get that crucial victory? And Corny, who's currently holding on to P3, can he hold off Simon Vigang? That is the major question, Maku.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sven Zerner gets this race and wins this thing by track position, but
let's not forget his penalty.
Exactly. And I checked Sven Zerner again, but I'll check Alvaro Carreton too, but I don't think he got a penalty, alright? Did he? Or did he? No, he didn't.
No, we haven't seen one yet. And of course, that's a real impressive feat because obviously Brazil, very, very tough on-track limits. And, of course, Alvaro Carreton doing well. We haven't seen a penalty yet from Alvaro Carreton, and now he's only got one lap left. If he sticks behind Sven Zerner and probably plays his cards right, he could very well get his P1 here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's find out, though, as Bernardo Perez has overtaken Harbas, who's just dropped down again, because Calcifer, who's having a great race as well, with 20 drivers on the grid, is Onyx, who's on a mission. He's on a flyer. Overtakes Simon Vigang for P4. Onyx having yet another stormer. What a move by the Silver Arrows. P4 for the Silver Arrows once again. After Canada last week, he's here in Brazil this week doing bits, as we now see Sven Zerner rounding the next corner. We're going to see who's going to win this Brazilian Grand Prix. Hold on to your hats, folks. Do not throw away your tickets as they make their way down towards the straight. Alvaro Carreton 6/10 behind. Sven Zerner about to cross the line into P1 initially. Alvaro Carreton is your Brazilian Grand Prix winner. Corny gets P2. Sven Zerner P3. Simon Vigang P4. What a day for Ferrari, Maku.
Yeah, what a day for Ferrari, but also what a day for McLaren. The
P3
British
and
team
4.
with the 2 German drivers.
P3 and 4 for McLaren. What a day at the office there for Sven Zerner and Simon Vigang. They get the result maybe that they weren't looking for. You would have thought that Sven Zerner would have fancied his chances at a P1 finish. The time penalty was all that separated him from it, and he falls down to P3. Alvaro Carreton, though, don't take anything away from him. It was pretty much job done by Alvaro Carreton, the Spaniard, and he's going to be very happy with that. Corny coming home in P2. A phenomenal result there by the Ferrari driver. He's got to be delighted with that result. Very soon, I'm sure he'll be joining us for an interview as they take the top step. Your winner today here at the Brazilian Grand Prix is Alvaro Carreton for Williams. And once again, a great result there for the British constructor. And indeed, the Ferrari team delighted to get a P2 finish as well. The Prancing Horses coming back into the fold and back onto the podium, with Corny taking that position for them as well. And let's not forget Sven Zerner getting his podium finish as well after a very, very turbulent season. Comes back after a month off. Phenomenal view. We'll just go through the final classifications, folks. I'd like to thank everybody who's been involved here today. Alvaro Carreton P1, Corny in P2, Sven Zerner P3. That's your podium there, folks. Williams taking the P1, Ferrari taking that crucial podium that they've been looking for all season. And Sven Zerner P3, Simon Vigang P4, Bernardo Perez P5, Onyx getting dropped down to P6. Maybe some penalties coming into becoming a factor there. Calcifer P7, Kruzic in P8, Harbas P9, Boomson in P10. Looking further down, Leonard P11, Infamous 12, Photon 13, Jake 14, Hayes 15, Owned P16, Jan Filu, who ran a great race earlier on, came home in P17, Andinator P18, Camel Com on P19 after a DNF, and Andinator, finishing P18. But what a phenomenal race here today. It's been nothing short of brilliant. We'll be bringing you live interviews here now as well, folks, as we come to the end of the stream. I hope you've all enjoyed yourself so far. Absolutely phenomenal day here at Brazil.
Sure we have. Yeah.
You just cannot never get tired of it.
Apart from Simon now being officially second in the championship, I think if I did the maths correctly, Sven Zerner even jumped with this result 2 places in the championship and should be now 5th.
He does indeed.
He was 7th before, even though he didn't attend the last races.
Well, Hayes and Camel Common were the only ones in between him. And he goes ahead of those two, I believe, and gets himself into that P5 position. So he's going to be absolutely delighted with that fact. And certainly that'll go a long way to his final championship allocation. And he's going to be absolutely chuffed with that. And so that means as well, Simon Vigang holds on to that P2 spot, or gets that P2 spot after Infamous finished outside the top 10. And that was a real Shame Free and Famous. I don't know what happened to him earlier on in the race, but obviously something went awry, and he ended up towards the back of the grid. Did fight back and get himself up towards around P's 14 and 13, but just couldn't get it done on the day, unfortunately. Though we are joined, though, by a couple of superior drivers today in the commentary box. Alvaro Caraton and CRG Simon, welcome to the commentary box, guys.
Hello.
You sound thrilled.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
I shouldn't have asked. Sorry. Calcifer's joined us as well. Hello, Calcifer. And we're joined by Sven Zerner as well. Long time no see, Sven.
Yeah, hi.
Well, I think we'll make a start now. We've got everybody here. First of all, we'll start with Sven Zerner. Obviously, Sven, not the ideal, I suppose, result, given the fact that you pretty much, I think, executed the strategy perfectly with the safety car being the way it was. Obviously, a time penalty proving to be the difference maker. Talk us through that race. What were your thoughts and feelings going through that?
In the first lap, I got 2 warnings. That was the reason why I got the penalty in lap 20 or something.
Phenomenal.
I had exactly 3 warnings then at the end. Yeah. The strategy was a bit harsh. I had 86% tire wear in the last lap. So was sliding a lot. Was all the time just to avoid sliding.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Brazil is very, very tricky, given track limits and all that, isn't it? Certainly the center S's, because if you take it wrong, very easy to get penalties. Do you find it quite a testing circuit with certainly with the way the corners are set out? Because they certainly seem that way.
Yeah, especially in the S's, I got all my 3 warnings.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging track. Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be good on the setup to have a lot of front grip, especially in this track.
I was going to say you favour that front end downforce, I suppose, to try and get more.
Yeah, I
grip
do like it. The most front grip is the greatest to drive for me.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, a brilliant performance though by yourself. I mean, obviously, it looked like Alvaro was looking to follow you into the pit lane under the safety car, but obviously had a change of heart literally at the dying moments. I thought he was actually going to crash into the split in the pit wall, to be honest. I really thought you were going to lose him, but you stayed out. How close were you to crashing that, Alvaro?
I did actually not even see this from him.
Well, no, he tried to follow you in, I think, or something, but I think you changed your mind, didn't you, Alvaro?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know what to do because obviously pitting was really good in the safety car, but it was too early. I didn't do any race for practice, so I didn't know how many laps the soft were able to do. And yeah, I changed my mind at the end because I saw Sven pitting, so yeah, I decided to do the inverse strategy, and it paid off.
Absolutely. Much to the regret of Sven Zerner, no doubt. But I got to say, Sven, great performance though, all the same. Obviously, we lost you for a good period of the season. Obviously, I think you've had a very difficult season, I'd say. You obviously had that puncture at Bahrain, if I remember correctly, and
yes.
A few other results didn't go your way. Was it a case that you had to put the game aside for a month and just have a refresh or just have a break?
Yeah, the front wing lost in Monza was the reason why I had a little twitch with, I can't remember, but I lost their front wing because of a lag.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought I don't want to go anymore. I was going to win the race if you would watch how the safety car came out and everything. Yeah, you never know what will happen, so you can't say I would win. But it would have been a good race for me, and the game destroyed it. And it's often like that. You put in so much time for practice, and then you lose it because of a lag. Yeah, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Then I decided not to
I don't know what
race
happened.
anymore.
It's certainly very, very disheartening, I think, when things like that happen. Certainly after when you run a great race, it can be.
That happened to me today.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I certainly felt for you a little bit as well, Simon. To be quite honest, I did think that maybe there was a little glitch that happened to yourself because you didn't quite, I suppose, close the delta time as quickly as you probably would have done.
No,
before.
it was the first time my game tapped out. Like it tapped out and it was back on my home screen or whatever. 2 times. One time when Alvaro was behind me. When I was in looking at it now, it was a race-winning position. And then the second time in the last lap happened again. I don't know why that is. It happened before a few times, but only in that time trial. I didn't really think much of it, but now it happened twice in the game. And yeah, I feel like Sven a bit, like can't be fucked, honestly. Like if you do, I mean, I didn't practice too much, but it's like awful.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see a better result now. At least it's the end of the end of the season now. I suppose it's a
Yeah,
good.
there is no results anymore.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So no more ORL on the 2019 game, that's for sure. So we'll be moving on to the 2021. We will move across to you though anyway, Simon, because obviously it'd be interesting to get your full perspective of the race and how it was planned out. Obviously, yourself and Sven went through different strategies. In hindsight, do you think that the one you made was the right one? Was it a case that you wanted to follow Alvaro through and just track him through the race?
I wanted to go in for the hots, but the other Sven went in, and so I would have been held massively. Hence why I decided not to go in.
So it was literally a split moment
stop.
decision then at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean I saw he was in front, and I figured he would pit, so I know it was time to stay out.
What's your thoughts on Brazil as a circuit as well? Because obviously I touched on it with Sven. I mean, actually, track limits, you know, if you can't really push them too hard in that circuit, because obviously, especially the center S's, as Sven obviously mentioned, you know, he got most of his warnings at that part of the circuit. Do you find that the track limits are quite, you know, I know they say strict, but this is, I would say, probably more than strict. Would you not agree?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, in real F1, they sometimes, if drivers really abuse track limits, they will enforce it really hard. But it's not that strict in real F1. So I don't know if you want to call it strict. I actually like it. It's fair for everyone. Usually, yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say. It's only really the Sunrise. That's pretty much the only corner. So if you're careful there, it should be fine.
Yeah, okay. Well, obviously that result puts you P2 in the Drivers' Championship, and that's where you finish. Obviously, given the fact that, I mean, you knew you were battling for that P2 and 3 for the latter part of the season. Obviously, Jarno Watmir took the title quite earlier on in the season. How do you feel now knowing the fact that you are officially P2?
I don't know. I didn't join from the beginning, so I wouldn't have cared if I was P6 or whatever. If I don't start the first race, and I'm not racing for the championship, I'm just racing to win races.
Yeah.
And today I didn't win the race, so I'm not too happy.
No. Obviously, commiserations obviously on the result didn't quite go your way, but I got to say congratulations on a good season overall. And
Thank you.
It's been great to see the battles that you've had as well. I've enjoyed commentating on them anyway. It's been great.
Thank you.
We'll move on next to Jan Feeler, I think, because he's here in the chat. Jan, how you doing?
Fine, I guess. I've been called by R7 to go here, so here I am.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I got to say, I feel a bit bad for you, and I said to Maku, I said I'm quite devastated for yourself. Obviously, given how things panned out, certainly seen it, you looked to be running a great race earlier on, and then obviously there was that little issue at the top of the center S's. Can you just talk us through the race and how that came about? I mean, obviously we just caught the tail end of it, I believe, on the end of that.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward actually, you know, starting on softs. And then safety car came out, so I pitted for hards to go to the end. And all of a sudden I was in a podium position. I didn't expect that at all. And then I spun. And that was the race, basically. There was not a lot going on. I mean, a bit of fighting here and there, but most of the time it was just driving behind each other because it's not that easy to overtake when you're not on a counter strategy. So, yeah. And then obviously, the spin ended every hope for a good result.
No, I mean, obviously it was very tricky to gauge because obviously you had lots of cars out on different strategies. Obviously Sven opted for his strategy. You had yourself that opted for the hard strategy. Alvaro Caraton obviously opting for his, trying to carry it through to the end. I mean, it was, I got to say, a very, very... it was very exciting to obviously see who was going to come out on top because it was simply a strategy battle. How did you find the circuit out there? The pace of the circuit, the actual pace of the race as well. Was it a good pace, or did you find it perhaps a little bit, I suppose, distracting given the way the cars were situated on track and the strategies they opted for?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't awfully well prepared for today's race anyway. So I guess the pace was, well, the pace of the race leaders for sure was okay, was fine. They were pulling away quite a bit from the pack where I was in, and then apart from that, I don't know. On the hard tires, I felt like we sometimes, the cluster of 3, 4, 5 cars where we had on the hard tires, I felt like we held each other up a bit in the middle of the stint. But apart from that, yeah, it was all right. I guess.
Well, we did capture your great overtake earlier on. Obviously, you followed Arsene Kardinov through after that corner at the Decidia del Lago, going down the short straight, making that overtake. So you can catch that on the stream as well earlier on. Just want to say that was a great move as well, and I commentated on that that particular moment. It was superb. So we captured that. But I'd like to thank you as well for giving us some great moments this season at ORL. Certainly. Obviously, we got that impressive overtake from Canada last week, which was good, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come from yourself as well. So, very well done on a great season as well.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe on the next game I can fight for some better positions in the end.
Give me something more to shout for. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, F1 2019 hasn't been the best game for me, let's say the least. So let's hope 2020 comes better.
I think many people will say the same. I don't think you're on your own.
Yeah.
No, but very well done. Very well done indeed.
Thank you.
I think I tell you what, Calcifer, are you there?
Yes.
I'm going to bring you in as well because you had a great finish to your race. As I understand it, P7 in the end?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, phenomenal. Obviously, you came off last week, a very good top 10 result there as well. Coming back in today with yet another top 10, a thrilling finish. You seem to be getting into your stride at the moment.
Yeah, it's getting better and better, but today could have been more better because I went wrong with the strategy a bit because I had to bit twice. I forgot to change tires in the first bit and I had to bit second time again, and then had to come back, which was pretty fun and nice.
Yeah. How did you find the pace of the race yourself? Because obviously you were in a very different set of circumstances because you were almost coming from the back end and moving up towards the front. I think we've lost Alvaro there as well. Coming into the top. I did keep him waiting for quite some time.
Yeah.
Sure, apologies on that. Sorry, Alvaro. If you come back, we'll obviously talk to you now if you're available. Obviously going through the race, the pace was very, very different. Obviously, a very many different options were made on strategy. I suppose it's the same question I fielded to Jan. How did you find the pace of the race? Did you find it distracted, or did you benefit given the fact that the battles were pretty much strewn up through the entire grid order?
Oh, it was like 50-50, I think, because I lost a lot of time with battling, but I gained as well time, so I don't really know in the end. It was, yeah. I know, I have to rewatch and say it there.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, phenomenal race, Calcifer, and many congratulations. And I suppose same as to all of you guys as well. I'd like to thank everyone for a great season. Thank you for obviously giving me the opportunity to commentate on it as well. It's been superb. I hope that we'll get to do it again for next season. Obviously, I know my job is probably on the line as well as Maku's. I think Maku slightly more than me. Yeah. I got to say, no, it's been superb, but phenomenal action from everybody, and thank you ever so much to all you guys.
Season.
Yeah, let's hope better one next time.
Fingers
Even
crossed.
better one.
Fingers crossed, yeah, fingers crossed. I don't think we're going to get Alvaro back, guys. I think he might have left, so we'll probably call it a day there. I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who's been watching the stream recently. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Thanks ever so much for sticking with us week in, week out here at ORL. Thank you, obviously, for all the kind messages.
Oh, Alvaro is there.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Here he is. Alvaro, sorry, mate. I did keep you waiting.
I thought you weren't talking to me anymore. So
no. It's because I don't like you. Go away. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't go away. Don't go away. Alvaro, phenomenal result, mate. Absolutely brilliant drive. Pretty much job done, I suppose. I mean, you had a lot of... I suppose you had to be conscious of the fact that there was quite a bit of distance between you and Sven. It looked like Sven had articulated the perfect strategy, given the fact the safety car came out the way it did. Were you at all nervous towards the end of that race, thinking it might not happen?
Well, I went out of the pit in P15, and I saw Sven in the minimap so far from me, and I said, okay, this race is over. But then I start to have good pace, and overtook everyone without losing a lot of time. Made some risk move, but finally I knew Sven had 3 seconds, so yeah, I overtook Corny. It was, I think, yeah, and then I stayed behind, no risk, and yeah, it was my first win here.
Absolutely brilliant. First win at Brazil as well. Phenomenal to have that. Certainly against a grid of this caliber as well, because certainly all these drivers very capable as well. Did you find the pace of the race very strong? Or how did it iron out? Because it certainly looked like there was quite a cluster of cars in the top 10 there that seemed to be slowing certainly guys on the new tyres up a little bit.
Yeah, the grid is really fast. The level is quite high, but yeah, they had warm tires and hard, some of them. So yeah, I was much quicker because of the weight advantage. And yeah, to be honest, I didn't do a lot of practice, but yeah, really happy.
Well, I got to say, you've all been very impressive because none of you have had practice by the sounds of it. I got to say, I'm very impressed by that.
They just never practice.
No, obviously not. You practice more than me, I'd say, because otherwise I'd be better than you. So there you go. But no. Alvaro, obviously, very excited to see where you go from here because obviously I understand you're in the Mundo GT event for the Sim Racing Stars. How's practice going for that? Because obviously I'll be commentating on you for that as well. How's preparation going for that particular event as well?
We cannot practice because we don't know the track until we are in the lobby, so it's quite interesting. And with no setup, so yeah, it's just sitting in the cockpit and drive and try to do well, no penalties, and keep it safe.
So does that mean you're on time trial, literally doing every track in a row? So you're prepared for all of them?
Nah, I can't be asked to do that. I'm studying in the university, so yeah, I'm quite busy at the moment. I'm just trying to find some little moments to practice and keep the level, but yeah, that's it.
Well, I gotta say, it seems to be going well for you. Obviously, since you joined ORL, we've seen many great performances from yourself. I hope we'll see many more as well. I also look forward to seeing it if they bring me into comms as well. But I'd like to thank you as well for all the great moments you've provided us as well since you've been a part of this league. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great win as well.
Yeah.
I got to say, Maku, another corker to end the season.
Yeah.
How did
At the end of the season, I mean, what a season. We had everything, as we mentioned before.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, obviously, we went through race by race. It was non-stop action. Brazil, no different.
Yeah.
It's moments like this we really love and enjoy as commentators, and certainly I hope the spectators do as well. Naturally, we feed off the energy of the drivers and the moves that they make, and we weren't disappointed. The moves down the Rita Oposta, the Decidia del Lago, absolutely brilliant. A perfect way to end the season. We hope all you guys at home enjoyed it as well. Please don't forget to share and like, and also don't forget to subscribe to the ORL channel as well. I have been George Morgan. He's been Maku. Today, it was Alvaro Caraton taking P1 here today, though Jarno Otmir is your main champion. Simon Vigang takes P2. Sven Zerner makes a monthly comeback and gets himself a podium. Who'd knew? Come and join us again for next season. Hopefully I'll be here. Hopefully Maku will too. We'll see you next time.
Hopefully we will.
Yeah, goodbye.
See you in the next